Bobby Goulding, who is bravely carrying on playing despite the fact that he needs a hernia operation, but he knows that with the World Club Championship coming up this week, it's no time to be taking a month out. So, Halifax Blue Sox, who went so close to beating the league leaders Bradford Bulls on Tuesday in a classic. They've won 7 games, but crucially they've lost 5. John Pendlebury hopes they're a possible top 4 finish. They're scoring freely. 5 tries against the Bulls made it 60 for the year, but defensively that's where they let themselves down. 5 tries in 15 minutes on Tuesday. They've conceded almost as many points as they have scored. Carl Harrison is the big player though in this Halifax side. And this is the team that John Pendlebury has put on the field against the champions. Mike Umanga's the fullback, Tuilangi, Moana, Bouveng and Damone the 3/4, Pearson and Dean at half. Then up front it's Harrison, Rowley and Slicker, Heighton and Gillespie, and Chester is the loose forward. On the bench, Munro, Powell, Jackson and Bastian. Now St Helens, and Andy Haig moves into fullback. Arnold Hunt returns, Matautia and Sullivan. Jason Johnson, young man on his debut, and Goulding. Up front, it's Leatham, Anderson at hooker for the first time, and O'Neill, Morley and Booth with Busby loose forward. And on the bench, O'Loughlin, Cross, Shield and Barrow, the last 3 we haven't seen this season before. Coach is Sean McRae. Match referee is David Campbell, just shielding his eyes, checking everything's right with the touch judges. And young Jason Johnson gets this game underway. This is a big test of the Saints. They have got no fewer than 10 first-teamers out, either injured or suspended. And after the debacle against Wigan on Monday, well, Sean McRae, on the eve of the World Club Championship, will be looking for a lot more spirit and endeavour, I think, than was evident that night. Halifax, though, in possession for the first set of 6. Paul Rowley back in the side. He gets it away to number 22. That's Carl Gillespie. Gillespie, the second rower, making 5 metres progress into the St Helens half of the field. And that is the tiny figure of Craig Dean. His kick goes straight into the arms of Danny Arnold over on the far side, the St Helens winger.
Good kick and chase there. He'll be the architect tonight, along with the standoff Martin Pearson for Halifax. Those 2 little halfbacks they played so well against Bradford last time we were here, especially in those first 40 minutes, so they'll be looking for the repeat.
St Helens then trying to work the ball away from their own line, and head-to-head in league meetings between these two, it's 18 wins to the Saints and just 8 to Halifax, but that really is on the back of an awful record at Knowsley Road for Halifax. I think they've only won once there since the war. But it's a different kettle of fish when Halifax play here at home. Their supporters expect the best, and certainly on Tuesday they almost produced it against the Bulls. That's a nasty bouncing ball for the fullback Umanga. It bounced around all over the place. It was a good chase in the end from Morley.
And also Alan Hunt, the centre, back from injury. He was out for 6 weeks. Good to see the return of the classy centre Alan Hunt. Interesting to see how he handles his first game for quite some time.
Well, it's 6 weeks to the day since his hamstring snapped, and he really did have to have a run out here, bearing in mind the match against Auckland Warriors on Friday, the start of the World Club Championship. Yes, Super League goes global this week. Friday at 7, we'll be at Knowsley Road for Saints against the Auckland Warriors. 3 fantastic weeks then lie ahead of us for the World Club Championship. Meanwhile, though, this is the Super League, and it's Halifax against the Saints. Gillespie picks up, plays the ball to Rowley. He then gets the ball away to Moana, who gets a good kick in towards the corner, and Andy Haig, at a fullback tonight, doing well.
Tremendous play by the youngster Andy Haig. It was a beautiful kick forward, though, and good work by the hooker, Paul Rowley. 2 great runs there by the hooker. Paul Rowley, of course, linked with Wigan.
Yes, but apparently now the deal well and truly off. Wigan contacted Halifax this week. They're no longer interested in Paul Rowley, so he's obviously going to knuckle down and play on here at Halifax. And it's good to see him back in the side as well. He's a class player.
Well,
and Halifax need him.
If those two quick runs of anything go by, he really has set his stall out tonight.
Busby in quickly at dummy half. Goulding with the kick downfield. Good kick too from Goulding. He finds touch with that. Umanga not interested.
Great kick by the little halfback Bobby Goulding, of course, revealed only this week that he has a problem with a groin injury, which rather surprises me that the Saints club have given him the responsibility to still indulge in that kicking game. I would have thought perhaps continual kicking like that wouldn't do the injury any good.
No, but Goulding is the kicker in general, playing with Tommy Martin out for the rest of the season as well. Not much option really for Saints coach Sean McRae, and you have to credit Goulding as well. He's got the hernia problem. It does need surgery, but he knows the World Club Championship now is so important to his club that he soldiers on.
Well, it's obviously the reason why he's been lacking that spark. We've mentioned it for quite a few weeks now. He really hasn't injected himself like we've seen in the past.
Rowley again at dummy half, gets the kick away, and that's Dean again. And there's an appeal there that the St Helens man touched the ball.
It was charged down by Bobby Goulding.
Well, David Campbell sees it another way, and he's given head and feet here to St Helens.
Well, little doubt in my mind that Bobby Goulding applied the pressure. Not only did he do that, but he got a hand to it. As Dean really did give that a reef, and you can see it should have come on a quicker angle, but it went sideways. Nevertheless, Saints be happy with the possession.
And this is Dean Busby taking it up for them. He's dropped to the ground. Busby, who at one stage looked like he would be on his way out of Knowsley Road, but with this injury problem settling in on the champions, Busby is brought back.
Got to be a penalty.
And that's a penalty for stealing the ball against Julian O'Neill.
Mick Slicker, the big prop forward. See the hand just getting in there. One-on-one is okay. More than that, you can make no attempt. It's a big fella, the prop forward, Michael Slicker.
Yes, Mick Slicker, his first start for Halifax in the Super League. Yorkshire Academy prop forward against Lancashire in 1995. But stealing the ball then in more than a one-man tackle offers this opportunity to Bobby Goulding. 73% success rate for the St Helens captain in Super League 2. And considering the hernia problem, he's going to give this a good thump. He did, but he didn't find the mark, and what's more, Halifax can run the ball out.
Well, dodgy play. It was well taken by Mike Umanga. And Bobby Goulding, as Eddie mentioned, just didn't have the distance there or the accuracy. But it was dangerous play by the fullback Umanga, keeping that ball alive.
Another good run from Slicker, though, coming in. Rowley again, the dummy half. Dean, he floats the ball out wide. St Helens defence having problems there in bringing David Bouveng to the ground. He is Carl Harrison, had a wonderful game against Bradford on Tuesday at 33, getting better it seems with age. Another kick downfield from Dean. Under pressure there he was from Booth. Anthony Sullivan waving away the fullback Haig, setting off on a run himself, but that's a good chase downfield, and it was well picked up by Chris Chester.
Good work by the Lewis forward, Chris Chester, who played hooker against Bradford. Just shows you that all these young players, they can play in most of the positions out there. So fit and eager.
Matautia now unloads the ball. I must say, Steve-O, as this is a much changed St Helens side. They're playing with a lot more spirit and enthusiasm. That's a lovely ball too. And this is Andy Haig, and he's got Sullivan with him, but he took a tumble from Umanga. Umanga's back after him again and gets him second attempt. Goulding spreads the play out wide now. Alan Hunt, first time he's touched the ball really in attacking mode just ankle tapped and brought down.
Tremendous play by St. Helens. It was a magnificent short pass from Busby.
Matautia out wide to Sullivan. Great try. They're claiming that it's forward, but David Campbell has none of it. Halifax claiming the forward pass, but Anthony Sullivan's been given the try. It was tremendous stuff from Goulding and Matautia.
Great work on the blind side. Goulding out to Matautia. You could see they stuck them in. Well, it looked to shake forward for mine. But beautiful break. It came about from a wonderful pass from Busby. And from this, they continued on. Andy Hay kept it alive. Goulding worked the blind side. You can see they were pulled out of position. Threatened Tuilagi. But I have a slight suspicion that that was just a mite forward. See Tuilagi get sucked in. Two went on Matautia. Try time, according to the referee, David Campbell. He had no doubt. He looked toward the touch judge. Touch judge said it was A-OK.
Anthony Sullivan then with his 6th try. He scored a try against Wigan on Monday, but the game by that stage was long gone. Now Bobby Goulding again. Up the slope here at Drumhall. Tries to slide it underneath the wind. It was an excellent attempt. It just came back off the post. The champions ahead 4-0.
You see how Tuilagi comes out of position. It gives Matautia the chance to get it out wide. Now was it forward? Was for mine. Well, the momentum rule perhaps from Matautia. He didn't stop once he released the football. He certainly was moving forward, and that's obviously given the benefit of the doubt to the player in possession. Referee David Campbell obviously utilising that rule.
And the referee was in a very good position as well. And what's more, that try came on the last tackle in that particular set of 6. So Saints employing the power play. Slicker driving the ball in again for Halifax. The Blue Sox today playing in the change strip of maroon, because the St Helens side, as you can see, are playing in their away kit, which is predominantly blue. That slaps back off a St Helens player. It's still the last tackle. Referee has still not wiped the tackle count down. That's good work. Good work there. John Pendlebury, Halifax coach, watching on.
Well, full credit to this young St Helens side. The defence has been solid, and that try will lift their spirits. And they are finding the gaps out wide.
Matautia again. Powerhouse of a centre, gets a good ball back to Anderson. Carl Gillespie, though, had read the situation and stuck with Anderson. Boo the dummy half. Little short pass from the number 35, Jason Johnson, only 18. Here's Goulding, hoists the high kick. Good kick too, and Goulding's after it, but he certainly got in the way of Umanga then and impeded him, and it's a penalty.
Well, Goulding went for the football, but as a man took Umanga out. I think you'll find it's number 15, Julian O'Neill. Maybe Goulding caught him with the side of his body. Well spotted by the referee David Campbell. Yeah, Goulding just shimmied, but there was no way it was Mike Umanga. Sun pretty bright. It's a good option. The high kick, the big bomb from Bobby Goulding.
Rowley, but going without the ball. And it went back and over the shoulder, says David Campbell. Mick Slicker lucky to get away with that. Harrison's grounded on halfway.
Well, it certainly went over the shoulder.
Good tackling.
Good
Dean
defence there.
Trying to get through. Busby working hard. Here's Umanga. Gets away from Matautia. Great run from Umanga. He's on his way to the corner. Goulding's after him. That's good defence. Goulding there, and also Andy Haig, the fullback, coming across to bundle the big fellow into touch.
Beautiful play, but watch for the cover. It looked as though it was hosed and home into the corner. That is wonderful cover defense. Tremendous stuff. Umanga looked to have scored in the corner. It's a beautiful break. Matautia went too high and he just brushed him aside.
Come on, get him on the roll. Come on. Least little run from Johnson there. Another screamer forward passes. Morley takes it up for St Helens.
Big hit there by Asa Hamon. You would have felt that, Morley. Well, defence is on top, but full credit to St Helens. They've squeezed through 2 clean breaks.
Goulding again with the kick. Saw there was a big gap, and he's invited Danny Arnold to have a run. And Arnold's coming up here to maybe claim the try. What a run from Arnold! Tremendous run. He was way onside. Goulding got the kick in, and Arnold shot out of the traps. Well, that was speed. He took about 5 metres off the defender there. What a great try from Danny Arnold.
Wonderful kick by Bobby Goulding. Mike Umanga is nowhere. He's at the bottom of the middle screen now, but Arnold's pace is just outstanding. They both dive for it. It goes backwards. Asa Amon, did he knock it on? This is the kick. Look to your right, you'll see the fullback coming into your view now. But look at the speed of Arnold. Now, was that a knock on? Looks it for mine, but Arnold is going to get up and score. No doubt about placing the football. But remember, it's already been given. He has not gone to the screen.
So, try given, and Goulding now trying with the 3rd kick of the match, and this time he finds the mark. And St Helens leading by 10 points to 0.
Well, super speed got him to this position, and it appears to me, if they would have gone to the screen, that would have been classed as a knock-on, but it is not to be. Different angle, can't see it from there, but it appears to me that the arm of Arnold certainly touched the football. It went clear, it went loose, he regathered, but full credit to him. Well, what a start.
A great start for St Helens, I must say. As we made our way over here, Steve-O, this, I think, honestly, is the last scoreline we expected after a quarter of an hour. I know you should never discount champions, but when you look at all the changes they've had to make and the way that Halifax played on Tuesday against Bradford, Halifax must surely have started clear favourites.
Well, without doubt. But let's always remember that champions of today have to start somewhere. Everyone has to make his debut. And they really have lifted in confidence. Not much smile yet from Sean McRae, the Saints coach, but I think he'll feel a little bit of warmth inside himself.
Could I have your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen,
Nice
with the
little
owner
kick
of a Rover
from Craig
216, registration
Beautiful kick by Dean.
J682GVV.
They've kept him quiet. He's only been able to impress upon himself the kicking game as yet. He really cut Bradford apart a few days ago. But full credit to Saints, their defence has been very solid.
5 kicks already from Craig Dean. 3 is his match average, so he's working hard to get Halifax moving forward. But the champions ahead by 10 points to 0. And just 4 weeks ago, one of their injured stars, Chris Joynt, was lifting the Challenge Cup at Wembley, and they were on course to retain the Super League crown. Since then, the wheels have well and truly dropped off. The championship now, even Sean McRae conceded it with us on Friday, now looks beyond them, the way that the Bradford Bulls continue to march on. But the world crown is very much in their sights. And there seems a lot more urgency about this St Helens team tonight. I think Mr McRae might well have been laying the law down in training this week, Stephen.
Well, I think he's asked a lot of the players to take a long look at themselves in the mirror.
Lovely kick from young Jason Johnson. On his debut, the Academy and Alliance star.
Well, the confidence at 10-0. Take over the kicking responsibility from Bobby Goulding on that occasion. So great to see these youngsters. They're so fit, aren't they? They look eager. They want to get themselves involved, and why not? This is a big opportunity for them, but it's a big ask now for Halifax to come back, and it makes you wonder, Eddie, what it was taken out of them. That 40 minutes against Bradford was just absolutely superb. They blitzed the Bulls, but has it just burnt them out?
Well, they did. They blitzed Bradford. They were 26-6 up, and then they conspired to lose the game. They desperately want to get back on winning tracks here, but so too do St Helens. It's Halifax, though, in possession again. Here now is Gillespie.
Most impressed with this St Helens defence. They're moving up quickly. In the past few games, they've looked lacklustre. Looked at times as though they didn't want to move forward. They were waiting for the defence, should I say the attack, to come to the defence. And you will see another kick from Dean. They really are applying the pressure. He was the man that orchestrated so many breaks for this Halifax side. They realise he's a star performer for the Blue Sox, but they've kept him quiet so far.
Goulding gets the possession from the scrum. Quickly, though, the danger is snuffed out. Here's Andy Haig again. Umanga in quickly, so too Carl Gillespie. Busby slips. Moana was there. That's a neat run from Anderson. And apparently the Halifax coaching staff are expressing a little concern about this sun that is straight into the eyes of the Halifax players in this first half. And a very strong wind as well, straight into their faces. And that's why Goulding is making as much use of the kicks as he possibly can. Good chase back, though, that was by Asa Ramon. He turns. Good run, though. What a good tackle back by Danny Arnold.
Well, Asa Ramon, the winger, wasn't going to be caught out on that occasion. The kick from Goulding, bringing the try for Danny Arnold, who did show tremendous speed.
That's Tuilangi, who's drifted in off the wing. 4 tries in his last 5 games, and exclusively on the wing in Super League 2 for Reti Tuilangi, the Western Samoan.
Well, early in this match, we saw 2 fine runs from the hooker, Paul Rowley. Since then, he hasn't injected himself, though he did on that occasion, and he's not happy with the way that he's being tackled.
No, they're claiming that Anderson had moved from an offside position to tackle him. Andy Haig has coped well so far with everything that they've thrown at him at fullback, playing the fullback role for the first time.
Good positioning as well by the normal centre, Andy Haig. Well, this must be pleasing for Sean McRae, the Saints coach, who admitted that a lot of his players seem to have lacked effort for the full 80 minutes anyway in recent matches.
Not so today. Matautia taking on Tuilangi and taking on 3 more as well. He is a real roughhouse. Matautia, him and Gary Connolly on Monday night had a right scrap. Goulding was put under pressure then by Gillespie. The kick into the arms of Amon.
Well, that rather surprises me that they're kicking into that corner, into the shade. Bit of a problem for him, even though he was facing away from the sun, but one would have thought you'd have been kicking into the left-hand corner, which would make the players look directly into the sun.
Martin Pearson played that ball, had a little look at the referee, David Campbell. Wanted, I think, a penalty for a high tackle, but the referee said it slipped up off the shoulder, so play on. That's a better ball from Dean. And Heighton now.
Good work by Slicker. Got through the half gap, went round the man, slipped it away.
Harrison is fouled. Simon Booth, and Carl Harrison looks to David Campbell because he felt also that Booth's tackle was high. Simon Booth is getting in a lot of work here. In fact, all the St Helens defence is. The high hanging kick from Chester. They let it bounce, they get away with it. It's with Arnold, pursued by Pearson.
Nice high kick, plenty of chasers. Could have gone anywhere there. Quite a swirling wind here as well. Got up late this afternoon, pretty strong.
Goulding. And Busby once more. The ball was out wide looking for Sullivan, and Sullivan just couldn't take it in. The ball really then was below his feet because there's a huge slope here at Thrum Hall.
Really should have dripped on that football rather than try to take it up on the half volley. And that was the first mistake by the loose forward Dean Busby, who's been everywhere around this ground, both in attack and defence. He's got through a lot of work as Dean Busby.
Here's Pearson again. He hooks it on then to number 13, Martin Moana. And a penalty to Halifax. Interference had to play the ball. Matautia was in there, so too Alan Hunt.
Willem Matautia playing in the centres again tonight. And you see that he just had a little stab at it. Alan Hunt also.
So big chance here for Halifax. That's a good drive by Asa Amon, the Tongan international. And they're now just a couple of metres from the St Helens line. Big drive in then from the prop forward Slicker, and again St Helens hold him up. St Helens have got to stand behind their own try line. Gillespie manages to hang on, does well, gets it back to Moana. Moana looks for the runner on the inside. It's Tuilangi, and Tuilangi is hauled to the ground.
Great tackle by Sullivan. That was try time.
Pearson, long ball, lovely play. Heighton again, steps round one, can't get away from the second man in and is wrestled to the floor. Chances here for Rowley, scampering run. Another good defence, big test of this St Helens defence it is. Dean again, ball out wide but to nobody. It all moved up.
Long ball out wide by Craig Dean to nobody. And you could see how the defence had moved quickly. Alan Hunt, the centre, he really did get off the mark. If it could have found fingertips there.
The referee has gone back, I think, for a penalty.
He's allowed the advantage, so no one's forthcoming. They never made any attempt to get back the 10.
Tremendous tackle. Umanga thought he was about to spin the ball out wide, but Alan Hunt shot in. Ball and all tackle.
Tremendous scrambling defence by Saints. They're working hard for each other. That's not the best pass.
Matautia snapped it up. It was an awful ball. He's got Sullivan with him, and Sullivan shows them a clean pair of heels. Second try for Anthony Sullivan. Right underneath the black dot by Sullivan. It was a shocking pass when Halifax really were examining the St Helens defence. Pearson's ball inside just went to nobody. Matautia grabbed it.
Awful pass. They're trying to get the link and look, it went nobody. Matautia snaps on it, and Sullivan, who read the situation so well, look at the speed on this man. He's had a fine season so far. 2 tries today in the first half. It just went nowhere from Pearson. It bobbles around. The fullback was linked into the attacking position. That meant there was no one at home. The balance of this man is quite superb. That is a fine try. Quick thinking by Matautia. He knew he didn't have the speed to go the full distance, but that man did.
Great try from Sullivan, but absolutely gift-wrapped with a tag on it by Martin Pearson and Halifax. And Goulding adds the extras. 16 points to 0. St Helens look like they might be coming back into form at just the right time.
Long ball to nobody. Dean couldn't get through it. Pearson looks on in anguish. Notice how Matautia knows that once he gives this guy it, it's try number 3. They came as underdogs, but they're leading quite convincingly.
Well, this time next week, Halifax will be in Canberra, and St Helens will have played the first match of their World Club Championship against the Auckland Warriors. And at the moment, on the evidence of the opening 27 minutes or so, Saints will go into the Auckland game in a lot happier frame of mind. This has been their best 28 minutes of Super League for a month. Earlier, by the way, next Friday, you'll be able to see Brisbane Broncos against London Broncos at 1:30 on Sky Sports 1 as the biggest World Club tournament in Super League gets underway. It's probably the biggest World Club jamboree, if you think, and the most innovative and the brightest decision by the authorities in both sides of the world that sport has ever seen. It really is ambitious, and it's going to be sensational for 3 weeks. And we've got, of course, second helpings in July and August.
Just can't wait. And a lot of these players, they can't wait either. Halifax, of course, will be jetting out tomorrow.
That's better from Rowley, getting straight into the face of Bobby Goulding. And doing well again there to bring down Julian O'Neill in a dust storm.
Well, Rowley knows that they're in a bit of a fix, Halifax. Started this game firm favourites against an out-of-sorts St Helens side. And you could see Bobby Goulding turning around saying, come on, keep it going.
Well, Steve, you raised a question mark about him on Friday to Sean McRae about the captaincy. Alan Cross has come on, by the way, for Vila Matautia. And I must say tonight, Goulding, with all his problems, he's playing like a captain who wants to win.
Well, he's a different man, isn't he, from what we've seen previously in the past 3 or 4 games. They certainly needed him, and I'm sure that a few harsh words and frank words have been said amongst all the players, and of course their coach Sean McRae. Sometimes you've got to do that.
Penalty, meanwhile, for Halifax. Offside against the Saints.
Never made any attempt to go back to 10. There was 4 to choose from. Busby was one of them. Well, Halifax are desperate for a try. They really have not got into the game plan.
Leading on the penalty count, though, 4-1.
That game plan normally involves the combination of the standoff halfback, Martin Pearson and Craig Dean.
It just shows you what statistics mean at times, Steve. Halifax have had 57% of the ball, but they're 16-0 down.
Well, Moana drops the football under no pressure whatsoever. Really should have taken that one, and they are going through the horrors, Halifax. Maybe they were resting on their laurels somewhat, thinking that, well, they were just pipped at the post by the Bradford Revival.
Well, it was a gallant effort from them on Tuesday, wasn't it? And I suppose really it's a question of whether they can raise their spirits after that.
Well, being gallant doesn't win you much, I'm afraid, these days.
But being gallant wins you friends, as you well know.
Of course. That's Sir Walter Raleigh, etc., etc. Historian now, Eddie.
I'm impressed.
True. Well, interfering there, you can see that Chris Chester having a second go. Well, the word has got to get out by the Halifax coach, John Pendlebury, that, look, cut out the silly thing and make sure you do the tackling as well.
That was Leatham on a barnstorming run. Hunt went down like a sack of potatoes. Play on, says referee Campbell. This is young Johnson. Oh, that was a swing by Carl Harrison on the youngster. Welcome to Super League, Jason Johnson. This is young Alan Cross, 18 years of age. Non-playing substitute against Sheffield in Cardiff. You may remember that match that was played in South Wales last year.
Well, we said that John Pendlebury would get the message out for them to lift their game, but it seems all they've done is just...
Drop goal from Goulding. Didn't find the mark.
Good attempt as well by the Saints skipper at 16-0. All the time in the world as well. He usually does better than that, but it's a good option. But getting back to the fact what John Pendlebury obviously has been saying to his side, they've got to get involved a little bit more, but they're beginning to lose their head as well. They've got to have a lot of composure.
I think he'll be desperate, Pendlebury, to get his players into the dressing room at half-time.
Well,
Carl Gillespie has been withdrawn, by the way, and Michael Jackson's come on. Now, Michael Jackson is a man who can inspire great things, and there he is. Great Britain international 6 times. Good man to have on your bench. Booth, though. Simon Booth, number 12 for St Helens. He is playing for the first time in the starting lineup this year. And there's a bit of a schmozzle between Rowley and Anderson, is it?
Chris Morley, I think it is.
It's Simon Booth.
Well,
Simon Booth is having a a right to at him.
Well, he went a little bit late there on the kicker. And Craig Dean would have felt that. It was a little bit too late. You mentioned the fact that Simon Booth is working overtime. Well,
and now Goulding is having his 4 penneth at Paul Rowley. Tempers are getting a little frayed. It was a late tackle on that man, Dean, by Simon Booth.
No doubt about it.
And Bobby Goulding's on his way to the sin bin for 10 minutes. He got involved in the discussion, and it really wasn't worth it, because he's now taken 10 minutes in the bin. He was chatting and having a right go at Rowley over the face of the referee, David Campbell.
Well, we praise the man for leading by example, being the skipper, and there he is, leaving his side down to 12. Well, that could change the complexity of this game. It's the sort of thing that can change everything. And it looks like Rowley has joined him, so it's level peg.
Yes, it is. Just trying to check there. When they packed down for the scrum, there was no sign of Rowley, and he's on the bench now. He's in the sin bin too, is he?
Well, he leads by example, doesn't he, Bobby Goulding, at times, but I'm afraid chatting and carrying on in front of the referee is not the sensible thing to do. Well, it's going to be pretty hard now for the referee, David Campbell. Tempers are really fraying.
Oh, that's a lovely shimmy. Great stuff from Johnson. Anderson was the dummy half. Here's Julian O'Neill, and in this injury-wrecked season for the champions, Julian O'Neill, although he loses the ball there, he has remained ever present in this side.
Well, they try to keep the ball alive too easy there, under a lot of pressure. And at 16-0 in a good position. They really should have taken it another one, utilised the kick and applied the pressure to Halifax, who must be wondering what they have to do to get back into the swing of things. Get back to basics, I would suggest.
Referee was telling all the St Helens players that they'd moved up and were offside, and they didn't listen to him.
Well, there was about 3 that were nearly shaking hands with the Halifax players then. One thing being eager, another being stupid, is another thing.
So Halifax looking for some reward as Dean gets the ball away to Harrison. Surrounded, though, by this fine St Helens defence in the first half. It stood firm so far, just under 5 minutes to go. Pearson, the man who could change the complexion of this match. Martin Moana in at dummy half, into the arms of Dean, and then he brings it back on the inside. Moana again.
Tremendous scrambling defence from the Saints. They're working as a team, moving up quickly.
Dean with a high kick. Arnold's underneath this. And it bounced off the rather large chest of Asa Amon.
Nice kick. Opportunity was there. You can see that Danny Arnold really was too much in field. Opportunity missed, you've got to say.
That's better from Halifax. They want to keep St Helens penned near their own try line on this set of 6 tackles if they can. That's 2 gone. They've only made 11 metres, St Helens. Here's the 3rd coming in now, but Arnold does well to get the ball away. And Leatham.
Well, the Saints youngsters are building in confidence, especially the standoff, Jason Johnson.
Run from Alan Hunt. 4 tackles gone. Johnson helps it on. The ball was stolen, says the St Helens player, but Dean Busby doesn't get the decision from David Campbell.
And he should have. I'm sure there's a hand from Jackson there that dragged that ball free. Now, did it hit the ball or the hand? Definitely Jackson was involved there. Busby screams at the referee to no avail.
Martin Moana loses his footing. Pearson to Tuilangi. Good tackling again by Busby, and Alan Hunt in there too. I must say Busby and Booth have really impressed in this St Helens rearguard action. Leatham has been pretty keen as well, the number 17 with the head guard. Pearson now gives it to Jackson.
Well, the big improvement in the Saints' defence is they're working from the second markers. They're not standing around, they're really getting involved.
Dean takes over again. Good ball to Umanga. Umanga then gets it away to Heighton. Heighton is grounded on the last tackle by, inevitably, Simon Booth. Dean helps it wide, and again, but it was behind Moana. He had to stop and turn and correct it. Sullivan gets the tackle in, he releases the ball, and the ball only finds touch. Cross just allowing the ball to roll over the whitewash.
This will be on the last. They went for the power play. Long ball out wide. Martin Moana couldn't do it. There were claims that a St Helens hand was in there. David Campbell, the referee, brushed that away, so it was a turnover. Ooh, that was a big hit by Harrison. All legal.
I think Carl Harrison is starting to lose his temper with his own players and with his own performance.
Well, it was a big hit across the chest. Well, the reason why Halifax...
Lovely ball from Morley out wide to Arnold, and Arnold's got away from one. He cuts inside past Dean. Alan Hunt! Arnold's been taken out off the ball, and Alan Hunt goes over underneath the post again. Hunt gets the try. The referee holds up play, and we'll go back to that incident. He's not yet given the try. He hasn't signalled that the try has been scored, but I don't think he will disallow it, although he wants the Halifax skipper, Carl Harrison.
Well, he's definitely taken out.
And I think a Halifax player's going on report here, which will mean a problem for the disciplinary committee, because Halifax is due to fly out tomorrow, and the Halifax man is going on report for the late challenge on Danny Arnold. And it means that the disciplinary committee will have to view the video tonight and decide whether there's a case to answer. The try, though, meanwhile, is now given to Alan Hunt. Hunt gets the try, but a try shrouded in a touch of controversy.
Well, let's not take anything away from the fact they got it out wide, and Danny Arnold did really well. Morley, beautiful pass out wide there. Not the best attempt to get to the tackle. Back on the inside, and as soon as he passed the ball, he really was taken out. Pretty difficult to see who it was. This is Morley's pass. Oh, Amon went in there. Bouvang. And on the inside, well, was it the fullback Mike Umanga? Perhaps it was. He was the obvious one to be hanging around in a fullback position. Well, there's Alan Hunt telling his side, keep it going.
Anderson is the kicker because Goulding's in the sin bin, and Paul Anderson gets the goal, and St Helens have a 22-0 advantage.
Beautiful work, though, by Danny Arnold. Morley sets him up. Bouvang tried to push him out rather than take the tackle. You could see he fended away. Well, it's hard to see. We've tried all different angles, but I suspect by positional play alone that it was the fullback Mike Umanga. We'll clarify that for you as soon as we can. Either way, there's a Halifax player on report, which will have to be dealt with.
Well, yes, as you say, it's got to be dealt with within the next 12 hours, really, before Halifax go off to...
Oh, it's Umanga. No, it's Damien Munro, by the looks of things, number 5.
Well, St Helens and Danny Arnold, obviously no problems for him, despite the fact that the challenge was a bit late. This is Sullivan now. Chris Chester brings him down, the last action of the first half. And what a half it's been for this much changed St Helens side. 2 tries from Anthony Sullivan. One from Danny Arnold, who then laid on the try for Alan Hunt on a plate right on the stroke of half-time. 22 points to 0, the champions lead. And if ever, 40 minutes gave them just a little bit more hope and encouragement for the challenge that lies ahead from the other side of the world, this was it. But what of Halifax? They travel to Canberra tomorrow, and they are on the wrong end of a 22-0 scoreline at half-time. Stay with us, we'll look back when we return.
This summer, Britain takes on the world.
Alan Shearer and co are ready to go.
In sport, there is no greater honour than to represent your country.
And I don't think we should ever forget our values.
Italy and world champions Brazil in the tournoi.
There's real talent in there, there's no doubt about that.
This summer, enjoy true world-class football.
Power, direction, goalkeeper, no chance. Shearer's in there! And Shearer combined. England have the break.
Speaking of happiness, you never thought of mine. Mentioning loneliness, I feel lonely all the time. Speaking of happiness, why did it have to leave? Speaking of faithlessness, why couldn't we just believe? I love you so very much.
My husband's hair didn't always look this healthy. He used to have dandruff. Some anti-dandruff shampoos didn't leave his hair looking as healthy as he wanted. Then he discovered new Pantene anti-dandruff shampoo.
Its anti-dandruff formula works on the scalp to help get rid of dandruff, while provitamin B5 nourishes at the root and penetrates all the way to the tip.
Now his hair is dandruff-free and healthy looking.
New Pantene Pro V anti-dandruff for hair that looks so healthy it shines.
I'll take that blue jacket. And those gloves,
Shall I put that on your American Express card,
That'll
sir?
be £25.
On your card, sir. Okay, that's the camera. Would you like any film with that?
Virtually every pound you spend on the card can earn you reward points. You can use them for hotels, flights, cinema tickets, even a trip for the kids. The American Express Membership Rewards Program is just another way we can help you do more.
The average cow passes enough wind in a week to inflate a hot air balloon. 88% of clowns never fall in love. "36% of strippers had a convent education. Every year, over 300 animals escape from zoos and circuses. 98% of Man United fans have never been to Old Trafford. Men think about sex every 6 seconds.
It's England versus the world's best at football. All 6 matches from the Tournoi de France are live only on Sky Sports 1. The first is on Tuesday at 7, just part of the Britain versus the world Summer of Sport here on Sky. Right now, Halifax against St Helens in the Super League. We're live and exclusive at glorious Thrum Hall. The sun is absolutely streaming down. It's a beautiful evening, and it's an even better evening if you happen to be a supporter of St Helens with that scoreline. 22 points to nil. Sullivan with 2 tries, Arnold and Hunt, Goulding with 2 goals, and Anderson. And the return to form for St Helens couldn't really have come at a better time, could it, with the World Club Championship coming up at the end of this week. On Friday they take on the Auckland Warriors. But what do you say about Halifax? They gave us a treat, didn't they, on Tuesday against the Bradford Bulls. But in the first half, Steve-O, they have never really looked like repeating that sort of form here.
Well, I hate to say it, and I don't want to take anything away from the St Helens defence, which has been superb. Their effort, they've lifted their game. We said that they had to, and they did. But I do get the impression that this Halifax side, they're already on that jumbo jet. They're already on their way to Australia because they've not performed in this first 40 minutes.
Well, I think they're taking something like 20 players with them, and the thing is, they probably had to have all the names in the visas before this match even was thought about.
Well, it's a good job, because I'm sure that John Pendlebury will be saying, well, there's quite a few of you do not deserve to board any plane. Certainly not a plane to Australia. It might go to Siberia or somewhere else, but it has just been a pitiful situation for the first 40 minutes, and the coach has every right to be very, very angry.
Well, particularly after the Lord Mayor's show they got on Tuesday, there's no doubt about that. But
they should have forgotten that. You can't live in cuckoo land, saying that we only just lost in the situation. But full credit to the Saints, they got off to a flying start, and they really did come out with all guns blazing. And the Sullivan try, but let's just stop it there. You can see how Bobby Goulding playing the blind side, and then watch how the man comes running through. He sucks him through. Let's stop it again. You can see how the man is sucked away, and that gave the opportunity for the winger Sullivan, who is in fine form. Nice pass, but was it forward? I think it was, but not according to the referee, David Campbell. And there's also a little bit of controversy with the second try. There's a kick from Bobby Goulding. The fullback, Mike Umanga, out of position, but look at the speed of Arnold. Now, the close-up shows to me that Arnold definitely got the hand to it. That's the knock-on. He loses control, and yet again, the referee, he didn't go to the screen, and he gave the try. So a lot of pressure on the referee. He still thought that it was a clear try. And then we saw again the pass out wide. Watch how he moves it in, and the break was superb. Absolutely wonderfully picked up by Matautier. And look at the speed there of Sullivan. Did well, did Matautier. It was an awful pass by the Halifax side. It went to nobody. Matautier picked it up. And then controversy reigns. Morley did all the work out wide. It was not the best attempt to try to. They tried to push Arnold out. There you can see Bovan, and not a great attempt. Back on the inside. This is it. Watch for Umanga. Bang. He does not miss him. He has been put on report, and the fullback, Mike Umanga. Alan Hunt returns. There's the incident as he comes through, and you see it's a split second too late. Well spotted by David Campbell, who had no hesitation, but he had to make sure that he would put him on report first before awarding the try. That is malicious. That's about all you can say about that, and that just about sums up the frustration of what we've seen from a Halifax side, who I am sure is on that plane to Australia. But maybe after that, there's one Halifax player that won't be.
Well, we'll see. Greg McCallum, I can tell you, will watch all the pictures that you have just seen here on Sky Sports with us after this match is finished tonight. Then he'll decide whether Mike Umanga has a case to answer or not. If he deems that he has, Umanga will then appear before a disciplinary committee first thing in the morning, and then the decision will be taken about whether he's suspended or he's allowed to go on the plane to take part in the World Club Championship. That's fair enough, I think.
Oh, of course. The thing is, was it a malicious foul? Did he just use a shoulder charge? Did he just take him out? If that's the case, I think perhaps it was a little bit of frustration. He came in a little bit late. He knew that he was beaten. He had to take the man, the ball back on the inside. He did everything right, did Danny Arnold, but I'm not so sure that Mike Umanga did. It just depends whether he just used his shoulder as a shoulder charge. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
And the important thing is that all the comments that you hear from Steve-O on this programme will not be relayed to Greg McCallum or the disciplinary committee. I think it's right that we make all these points because people might say, Steve-O, you're hanging, drawing a quarter before it starts.
The situation, we call it as we see it, and the situation is, and the referee didn't see it clearly. He doesn't have the same advantage as we do of the slow motion replay, so therefore he did right in putting him on report.
Absolutely. Well, but what a start for St Helens, and what a performance from them in the first half. Have you seen a possible contender for man of the match? Ring that number during the course of the second half, and we will present the man of the match with his usual "This is the moment I always love," the video with his name emblazoned in gold down the spine, and the little mini television set. The man of the man gets one of these, the man of the match does, and the person who votes for the man of the match and comes out of the computer first, he also, or she, gets one of these. Love that part of the show. You can ring in on that number during the course of the second half. We'll tell you when. And I did not forget that was the man of the match time on the programme. Right, I hope you won't forget either, because we want you to ring in during the second half. A great game for St Helens, but can Halifax come back? Halifax now have got to come up with a second half performance a la the Bradford Bulls on Tuesday. Can they do it? Or are the Saints going to head off to the World Championships in the best possible spirits?
Shared a forbidden love until one little boy
set your faces to stunned.
Exposed one big scandal.
Principal Skinner and Mrs. Krabappel were kissing.
We have barricaded ourselves in the schools.
Homer Bart's up there.
Give me that.
Bart, this is your father. Do you know where the remote is? I looked all over the house.
A brand new episode of The Simpsons tonight at 6 on Sky One.
No, no.
No, 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 no.
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 No. No.
Just because you're grown up now, it doesn't mean you don't need a security blanket. I'm Peter Davis, Head of Prudential. And whether it's with pensions, savings, investments, or arranging your mortgage, we can help chase away the monsters behind the curtains. We've been doing it for almost 150 years. In this turbulent world, it's nice to have something familiar to hang on to.
Peter Davis, the man from the Pru.
Hey, Futurescope, how was it? Futurescope, destination sensation.
It's Curry's biggest ever sale, with massive savings from Iowa, many with buy now, pay later. The sale at Curry's, Britain's biggest electrical stores.
Low. But not as low as the fuel prices at Esso.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. 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 Yes.
This summer, Britain takes on the world.
Spirit has been excellent.
The British Lions are continuing to mould into a true pack as they continue their venture in South Africa.
It promises to be a fabulously exciting tour.
And the players know they must impress to secure a test place.
Still work to be done.
Follow the Lions as the tour continues in association with Land Rover. Wednesday at 1:30 live on Sky Sports 1.
The British Lions tour of South Africa continues as they take on Mpumalanga as part of Britain versus the World Summer of Sport, live on Sky, Wednesday at 1:30, Sky Sports 1. Right now we have Halifax Blue Sox against the Saints, and the champions are in control of this match at Drum Hall. We're live and exclusive here. Half-time, 22 points to 0. 2 tries from Anthony Sullivan, 1 from Danny Arnold, and 1 from Alan Hunt. Goulding's kicked 2 goals, and Paul Anderson has kicked 1. Goulding at the moment in the sin bin after having a discussion with Paul Rowley of Halifax, who's also in the sin bin. There's the statistics from the first half. Important one at the top, of course, possession. Well, Halifax have seen 55% of the football compared to 45%. It only proves what you do with the ball when you have hold of it.
Missed tackles, that's a big one. 9, that tells its own story. But look at the clean breaks, 12 as against 4. And 2 of those clean breaks came from Halifax's hooker, Paul Rowley, within the first 5 minutes. So you can look at 35 minutes of football without a clean break from then.
Mike Umanga restarts this second half, and I'm sure that John Pendlebury, the Halifax coach, will want more commitment from his players. Otherwise, they will travel to Canberra for their World Club Championship match with a real hiding behind them, and also a hiding against a St Helens team that's lacking no fewer than 10 first-team regulars. Sean McRae, the Saints coach, will be delighted, though, with what he has seen. He was after more commitment from his team, even though it was much changed, and there's no doubt he has got it.
Well, I mentioned at half-time that some of the Halifax players looked as though they had Australia on their mind. I've heard of jet lag after a flight, but I've never heard of jet lag before one.
St Helens with the young standoff half there, Jason Johnson, kicked downfield, but Umanga collecting the ball and then collecting a 2-man tackle, and the 2 men who were in the sin bin, i.e. Goulding and Rowley, are now back into the fray.
Been a good comeback, hasn't it, by Alan Hunt, the centre.
That is one of the brightest spots, and there he is again doing a good tackle. Alan Hunt, the brightest spots of this match for Sean McRae.
Well, they definitely had to give him a run, and he's proven, no doubt, to his coach that he's fine for the clash with the Australians up here.
Indeed, and he's probably proved to himself that he's fully fit for it as well with that hamstring. They can go again at any stage, but they haven't rushed him back 6 weeks to the day since he snapped it. Andy Haig with a brave run. He's done well at fullback, Steve-O.
His position play has been great. It was on that occasion, though. It wasn't the best kick by Craig Dean. He looks out of sorts.
Good run too from Busby coming in there. That is young Alan Cross. And now here's Chris Morley, looked over the shoulder and only saw Martin Pearson, so held on to the football. Anderson dummy half to Goulding. Goulding then into the arms of Johnson. And Johnson growing in confidence as this match progresses. Now Halifax defence under pressure again. This is the last tackle. They're 20 metres out St Helens. It's with Goulding. Tries to get a kick in. He's fooled everybody. Stabs the ball out wide. Arnold will pick it up and will score another. Well, it was a missed kick by Bobby Goulding to begin with, and in the end he got a second kick at it, and Danny Arnold picked up what was the most simple of tries, his second of the match, and Goulding with an air shot almost, and then a stab, has come up with the goods again, and he's just out of the sin bin.
Well, you talk about little cheeky halfbacks. You'll smile at this one. It wasn't the best kick. The second one came. The third one was superb. Arnold just picks it up. There was no one to stop him. And the smile over little Bobby's face. That's the first kick. second one, and look at that. That is great control. Obviously played a lot of soccer in his youth. Bobby Goulding, Arnold gleefully accepts it. Tremendous option, forcing it. And you know, I get the impression that wasn't just a mistake. Oh, he got a fingertip to it, but it didn't hit the ground. He took it well. Arnold tipped it up.
Yes, good try for Danny Arnold, and I'm with you, Steve. The more I watch that little passage of play from Bobby Goulding, the more I'm convinced he meant it. He's trying to set his sights now in the face of this glaring sun, and he's just pulled it in front of the posts. Missed that, but he didn't miss with the other kicks that set the try up for Arnold. 26-0.
I'm pretty sure he actually meant to do that. At first, I got the impression that he'd made a mistake, but it was like control that even Ryan Giggs would have been proud of. Must have been watching the England win against Poland. That was superb stuff.
I rather think Ryan Giggs is a Welshman, but I know what you mean.
I said watching. Bobby Goulding watching.
I know what you mean, but let's have a word with one of the injured St Helens players. In fact, he's out suspended this one, Ian Pickavance. He's missing this game as a one-match ban. It's Ian Pickavance, and he's talking here to Alistair.
Well, Ian, obviously the performance in the second half has continued where you left off in the first. Is there an opportunity to prove a few people wrong?
Well, of course, yeah. We want to get back on a roll. We've not been playing well lately. You know, we just want to get back to winning ways.
People talk about confidence. Is this an opportunity to have the confidence going into the championship against the world club teams?
Oh, well, yeah. You mean you always need a win. You always need a win anyway. But getting a win just before we go into a big match like the next week, you know, it's going to be better for us.
Clearly, Alan Hunt has come back today. One and two others are getting close, I believe.
Yeah, there's a few there. Carl Hammond is on his deathbed at the moment. He doesn't feel too well, so he's not playing. We're getting players fit week by week. You know, we just need to keep steering clear of injuries.
And other players excited at the prospect of this Friday?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great test there. You're going to pit yourself against the world's best, aren't we?
They certainly are. Ian Pickavance's view from the sideline. Mentioning Carl Hammond there, by the way, he has had a pretty bad virus all week. From all accounts, he hasn't done any training whatsoever and was never really a starter here today. So they have their illness, their injuries and their suspensions to contend with, but just look at that scoreline, 26 points to 0. It's the perfect way to begin the World Club Championship assault by the champions. But what of Halifax, who have got to go down to play the Canberra Raiders? They need to produce something in this second half, and they're coming forward now here with Chester. Hooker on Tuesday, loose forward today. Now Craig Dean, who was such an inspiration on Tuesday against the Bulls. The kick, though, not the best, but it bounced back off a post, did it, or was it caught in the breeze there? That's surely a knock-on against the Saints, and it is. Young Johnson with a little mistake.
Well, was there a one before it too? But we mentioned the swirling breeze to start with. It really went all over the joint. And I think perhaps just a little bit by Jason Johnson. Just got the fingertips to it. Made a real meal of it in the end, so there's more pressure to be soaked up.
Yeah, big opportunity here now for Halifax as Pearson spreads it wide to Moana. Umanga was in the line, but again, good defence over on that far side. Now to Ilangi, trying to burrow his way through, but once more the St Helens defence stands firm as a rock. And now surely Dean will give this some no, he goes on his own again. Down a blind alley.
Great defence that.
The Halifax supporters are claiming offside against the Saints, but the referee had none of it, and that's great stuff from Chester. Chris Chester just ghosted through a big hole, and that's exactly what Halifax wanted.
Beautiful individual, little step, throws a dummy. See how the dummy runner came back on the inside, they were sucked in. That is a fine try, and boy did they need it. Watch how he rolls across the body. Brought them back on the inside. It's Paul Heighton that did the dummy runner. and it's Chester that gets the first try. And boy, did they need it.
Yes, just what John Pendlebury would have wanted, but he wouldn't have wanted the other try up the other end. Pearson now with the conversion. Not a problem for Martin Pearson. Halifax 6, St Helens 26. And remember, it was 26-6 the other way round on Tuesday when Bradford launched their comeback.
There you see the runner, Nutchow Heighton, will come back on the inside, take away the defender. Bang. Bobby Goulding had gone out wide, he was left caught short. That's a fine try, well worked.
Leatham trying to get away from Paul Heighton, couldn't do so. Here now is Alan Hunt. Better defence now from Halifax. I wonder, could we see the second greatest comeback of all time at Thrum Hall in the matter of 5 or 6 days? Halifax have got the ball back. Here comes Umanga. This is much better from them. Good tackling back though by Alan Cross.
Good hit, wasn't it?
It was O'Neill who lost it. So Halifax in possession here with Heighton again. Drives it in and up the middle. Here's Dean. Pearson outside him. Dean then takes over again. The pass went behind Martin Moana and Anthony Sullivan picked it up.
Moana overrun it. Just behind there. Tried to hold the ball up, did Dean. Well, a wasted opportunity there because it was a big hit from Michael Jackson that made sure that Halifax got possession on that occasion. Well, a try there, Eddie, that really would have warmed things up.
It would. Goulding, meanwhile, to Simon Booth. And Booth and Busby, I mentioned them in the first half, they give me the impression they're after a place in these World Club Championship matches. 10 minutes, second half gone. A try apiece. Goulding with the kick underneath the defenders. Good kick too. Meanders its way to the touchline.
The captain's kick. Split the fullback and the winger.
Over 1,000 points now for the Saints. Reached the milestone at Wembley. 1,000 points. And always the man who is in control of the football whenever Saints do the kicking in general play. Despite the fact he's got this hernia problem. What a break from Pearson! What a chase back by Andy Haig. And he's lost it, Pearson. Saints have come up with the ball. This is Johnson. Umanga tackles Johnson.
Super work by Andy Haig. Impact there. Pearson lost the football. Oh, bad mistake there. A bit scrappy now.
Anderson tried to get rid of the football, did so. Unfortunately for him, Leatham retained possession for the Saints. Here's Julian O'Neill.
Well, this is the time of the game where Saints should just calm things down now.
Julian O'Neill, by the way, never played first grade for Auckland Warriors in a 2-year deal at St Helens, and he, above all, will be relishing Friday night and the match at Nosey Road against the Warriors. Saints still in possession. Goulding again, hoists the kick up the hill. Booth's after it, but Tuilangi read it perfectly. Got away from Cross, cuts inside Busby. But Busby again doing well. Here now is Jackson.
Much more enterprise now showing in the Halifax attack.
Harrison.
A combination of Craig Dean and Martin Pearson starting to develop now.
Good tackle there by Andy Leatham on Paul Heighton. Chris Morley was in there also. Rowley was the dummy half. That's Dean, and here's Pearson now. Misses out Jackson, goes wide, finds Moana. Moana then to Umanga. Umanga then out wide to Tuilangi, and Tuilangi comes through. Held onto the shirt tails by Johnson. Lovely short ball. This now is Chester, and this is a lot better from Halifax. Dean. Pearson wants it, Pearson gets it. Pearson drags the man back on the inside. It's Boubeng. Boubeng! Brilliant try! David Boubeng! Magnificent try from the Australian. His 5th try in the last 6 games now. And could this be the moment when the game turns the Blue Sox way?
They don't come much better than this. The break out wide. The step. Beautiful stuff by Tuilangi. Back on the inside again. He did so well. What a beautiful pass. Chester raced away. They got to him in the end, but a quick play of the ball. The Saints defence were always going to be stretched. Pearson brings him back on the inside. What a tremendous effort. What a tremendous try. As I said before, they just do not come much better than this. We speak of the dummy runners. It was the angle run this time. It was a great fend there. And David Bouveng gives a glimmer of hope, Eddie, for this one.
Most certainly, Bouveng's try is converted by Martin Pearson, and John Pendlebury knows that his team now have hope of making a comeback of Bradford proportions. And Alan Hunt has knocked on from the kickoff. Pressure mounts on St. Helens.
Well, he feels it went back. And I have a slight doubt about whether it went either way. And a good long look at the touch judge. Well, a couple of decisions went the Saints' way in the first half.
Here's Asa Ramon on the first tackle. St. Helens now stretched in defence. Dean to Pearson. Pearson, good ball to Jackson. Good
Another
tackling.
great tackle from Busby.
Fantastic stuff from Busby. But Halifax have got the smell of a comeback here. That's Umanga. They are 3 metres short of the St. Helens try line, and they're setting for something that bounced off Pearson. Play on, says the referee. St. Helens defence is shot out, though.
That'll be the knock-on. Tuilangi coming back on the inside. It was knocked out, so that meant it was okay, but I think you'll find that Tuilangi gets fingertips to it, even though it's a Saints player.
I think he's given head and feet here to St. Helens, to Halifax.
So it's
double substitution by Halifax.
So it's tainted that the man has actually knocked the ball forward.
No, it's Bobby who's got the ball. Goulding's got the ball. He's feeding. I'm sure he pointed Halifax's way, but still. Saints in possession. Simon Booth. And Richard Shield returning for the Saints. Hunt, the dummy half. He escaped any further punishment other than the scrum down for that knock-on. Here's Goulding. Let's just correct that change, by the way. O'Neill and Booth off, and Matautia and Shield return for the Saints. That's the right way round now.
Good move by the Saints coach, Sean McRae, to make sure that a bit of strength out there. Matautia was causing a lot of problems for this Halifax defence.
Steve-O, do you believe in coincidences?
Yes.
And you believe that lightning might strike twice?
Yes.
Well, all the points on Tuesday, or just about all the points anyway, were scored at the end that Halifax are attacking now. And it was 26-6 at one stage in this match, but the other way round.
I'm speechless.
Could happen.
Of course it could. And given that he's lost the football there, Harrison not happy with it. He tried to get on with the play the ball situation, and really you've got to get up from the floor. When the referee shouts held, and you see Harrison trying to get up and play the ball in one movement, you're not allowed to do that now.
Neat run from young Johnson again. Umanga got him though. Andy Hayes had a bright game, hasn't he? Oops, he's going without the shorts now.
Oh, Moana.
Well, they're all having a go. He nearly hasn't got any kit left on him, Andy Hayes.
I'd like to know which powder he uses. Boy, they are white. Well, a silly mistake there by St. Helens. At a time when they were getting through, they whipped him over the top. They got up and played the ball the wrong way, which in effect means that you've played the ball forward.
Amon will drive the ball in. Rowley, dummy half. Harrison, straight at Johnson. Rowley again. Gillespie now, bounces off Goulding, gets a second go.
Tremendous strength there by Gillespie.
Dean, they're running the angles. Looking for the run on the inside, it's Umanga. Umanga gets the pass away. Held up just short. Johnson getting through a ton of work, and that was Demi Arnold as well, I think. They've not finished yet. Bouveng, still Bouveng. Can he release the ball? No, he can't. Now the last tackle. What have Halifax got left in this attack? Dean, they're switching the direction of the play. Out wide it goes. Into the arms of Tuilangi. Tuilangi looking for support. That's going to be 6 to go. It'll be 6 to go for Halifax.
Certainly touches Saint's hand.
So big opportunity here. Great strength again. Dean to Harrison, driving in Harrison. Again, the St Helens defence just stands firm, but for how much longer? Out wide it goes, Moana, and Moana scores. Sean McRae saw his side build up a massive lead. 26-0 at half-time. It's 26-16 now, and Saints are in a real fight.
What they failed to do in the first half, they're certainly changing around in the second half. They are keeping this ball alive. We mentioned that the combination of Martin Pearson and Craig Dean, this is where it was 6 to go. It certainly came off the Saints winger Sullivan. Pearson carried on through, and it was only a matter of time. You had to congratulate the wonderful scrambling effort by Saints, but they'd just run out of numbers in the end. There were 4 Halifax players lining up to score that try, but it was Moana that scores a vital, vital try.
And this is a vital kick. Martin Pearson, his first 2 have been almost bang in front. This is a little more difficult, but if he slides this over, and he has, hold on to your seats, because we are in for another stunning finish here. 18 points to 26.
This is all they had left. 2 defenders. They queue up out wide. Permany 4. Moana takes the 4 though. Well, you mentioned coincidence. Can they do it?
Well, they have a quarter of the match remaining. That's 20 minutes, and the gap now is just 8 points. And suddenly St Helens are not getting over the advantage line. Any candidates for your man of the match? And we said on Tuesday, had he been involved, or was he still to present himself? We have to ask the same question now, but you can ring in and make your vote if you wish.
Oh, swinging arm there, that could have marched them back 20 or 30 metres if the referee had given that penalty.
Away goes Anderson from dummy half. This is the last tackle, and Anderson's all on his own. That's the turnover.
Well, he lost the plot there. It should have been a time where Bobby Goulding, the skipper, should have said, give me the football, kick and chase, keep Halifax in their own quarter.
Julian O'Neill, you might have noticed, has returned to try and stem the tide. There is O'Neill straight into the tackling right on the halfway line, and Michael Jackson felt that. Pearson now. Halifax relaunched from the halfway line.
Desperation defence again by Saints.
Harrison spins, gets the ball away to Rowley.
Ooh, that looked forward.
Scrambling St Helens, defence again. Moana will give it to Dean, who in turn spreads it wide to Chester. And Chester out wide to Tuilangi. He's going to clear out to the line. No, he hasn't. What a brilliant tackle on him. And it nearly came off when he tipped the ball back inside, but Andy Haig to the rescue again.
I think Bobby Goulding gets in here as well. It's Bobby Goulding that whips the ball away, and it bounces through, and the fullback Andy Haig, he was in a beautiful position. But what a great ball out wide. It looked for all the world that Tuilangi was in.
Matauti now gets the ball away to Cross, and Cross will make some ground. He goes over the halfway line. It's like the cavalry charge behind him. Halifax cut him down.
Good thinking by the youngster. Only 18 years of old, Alan Cross, but he realised that possession was so vital. Didn't try to get the ball away.
Hunt to Morley. Morley out wide to Arnold, who's on a hat-trick. Good defence. Terrific defence from Bouveng. Offered in the touchline, and Arnold came back on the inside.
Surely they'll drive for the sticks and then go for the 1 point with Bobby. Bobby's getting back to settle for it now, surely.
Busby is there. They are just in front of the post. It's now with Goulding. No, he spurns the opportunity, kicks wide instead. And that was nearly a mistake by Tuilangi that allowed Sullivan in. But it's going to be a dropout from the goal line. He touched it.
Good call as well. It was a beautifully weighted kick by Bobby Goulding. I thought he would have gone for the 1 point at 26 points to 18. Came off the fingertips of Tuilangi.
It did. Good dropout though. What a tremendous dropout from underneath his own posts. And Andy Haig collects it midway inside his own half of the field, and the chasers have arrived.
Well, it's proved beyond doubt now, as Andy Haig, that he can settle into the utility situation.
He's hurt though there. He got a shoulder, a big shoulder off Paul Rowley. Here's O'Neill again.
Got through a lot of work as Julian O'Neill.
And he's gone. I think the message from the bench is that he's gone, but this is Matautia. Oh, Matautia took on Jackson, and Jackson's hurt. Goulding. Busby, out wide it goes to Cross. Andy Haig, I don't think he's going to play much more of this match for a while. This is O'Neill.
Neat little switch by Bobby Goulding back on the inside.
It was on the power play at the turnover.
Well, I can't believe that they haven't gone again for the 1 point. Well, that's a shame. He's had a fine match, Andy Haig.
He's turned an ankle, I do believe. He has had a great game at fullback, Andy Haig. And they'll just have to hope that that twisted ankle will respond to treatment before Friday. They might need him. Scott Barrow comes on, and Scott Barrow, I can tell you, is just 16 years of age. Dean Busby is a little older, but only 24, an England international.
Wasn't square at the play of the ball, made no attempt to get back either. Well, that could be a vital penalty to give away. Takes Halifax out of the danger zone. And look at the clock there, there's still plenty of time. Halifax 9 against 2, the penalty count.
Massive advantage there. Harrison and Morley, real scrap. Anderson was there as well. Now Rowley will make ground from dummy half. That's a terrific run, and that's a great ball to Chester, who goes round the Matautia, finds Pearson. Pearson wrapped up by Busby, but he gets the ball away to Dean, and Dean is brought down by O'Neill. Rowley again. Chester out wide, they go once more. Good strong run. Moana's gone off, and Heighton has returned. There is Heighton. Crunched by Matautia.
Oh, that was the tackle of the match.
Last
Heighton
one
is feeling that one.
Last tackle. Dean tries to get the kick in twice, and O'Neill comes up with the possession for St Helens. That's why Sean McRae's pitched him back on.
That really was a bone cruncher. Well, a kick through by Dean, he'd had the idea, but O'Neill stooped down, relieves the pressure.
Well, still plenty of time for Halifax in this. 13 minutes left to play. They started this weekend in 6th spot, Halifax. St Helens 5th. Halifax 6th in Super League last year. Pendlebury believes he has a side capable of finishing in the top 4. And they'll have to do it tough. What a tackle that was too there by Gillespie. And he felt that, did Jason Johnson. The kick from Anderson, and Anderson has clutched his calf muscle as he got that kick in. Another problem for St Helens as Umanga will run the ball back.
Well, they're walking wounded at the moment. Well taken, though, by the fullback Mike Umanga. They're hanging on desperately as Saints. The defence,
like
they are so tired, though. Full credit, though, to Halifax. They were awful in the first 40.
Jackson. Strong run from him, and he's not held yet. He's still trying to make progress. Whoops. Penalty. And Jason Johnson just lost his cool then.
Inexperience showing. The 18-year-old Johnson. Few words said. Michael Jackson went through the Oscar nomination act.
Well, that's how close they are to the danger zone, Halifax, and the Charge has been sounded from the terraces. They have 6 tackles here, 5 now to get over that line. Harrison spins, can't get the ball away. Rowley from dummy half makes more good yards up the middle.
Tremendous run by the hooker.
Gillespie there. He spins it into the arms of Dean. Dean looks wide again, interception! Sullivan! Sullivan for his hat-trick. Referee has pulled them back though.
Offside.
Referee wants the ball back.
Offside.
Sullivan saw the line beckoning, and yes, it's offside against Anthony Sullivan.
They wanted to throw the ball out wide. Sullivan took the chance and is obviously being deemed offside. Well, that surely would have sealed it. But now the pressure is reversed.
And it's Halifax with another big opportunity. Gillespie, on the first tackle.
Total lack of concentration by the big second rower, Gillespie. At a time when Saints would have thought that the luck had dried out. Not the best pass, he was a little bit high. You could see that the big second rower had to jump for it, but he should have taken it.
Goulding for St Helens, and Busby takes over again. He's had a big game, Dean Busby. I remember we saw him. Sean McRae, the St Helens coach, knows his side are so close to a morale-boosting victory. But just going back to Dean Busby, we saw him, remember, Steve-O, make his debut years ago, it seems now, up on Humberside with Hull, and he was a really bright prospect. And he's showing tonight just exactly why he had that sort of reputation when he was a teenager.
And has led the way, hasn't he, especially in defence. Some of the tackles that he's brought off. Look at the pressure that they've applied there. Good work by Paul Rowley.
Asa Ramon for Halifax Blue Sox, halted by Kevin O'Loughlin. Bouveng was the dummy half. It's with Heighton now. Good strong run from Heighton too, and young Johnson hangs on to him. O'Neill comes in to finish him off. Halifax aren't done yet. They know this match is there for the winning. Chester into the arms of Jackson.
Well, they've got it the tactics right now, using the big forwards down the middle and using that linking quality of Pearson and Dean.
Who's your man of the match? Get those calls coming in now. Harrison. Last tackle for Halifax. The gap, remember, 8 points. They could do with a try. Dean knows that. Chips it looking for Ramon out wide. It just beat him the bounce.
Good thinking. Far too strong, though, by the little halfback, Craig Dean. And he knows it, too. There's nothing that the winger could do about that. Well, a disappointing end. The option was good.
Yes, Craig Dean dictates the pattern of play for Halifax. 3 kicks compared to his average 2, but Halifax, tremendous pushback on young O'Loughlin. They're looking for a mistake here, and they've pushed him back 3 metres. They're looking for a mistake here early on, so as they get the ball back.
In this position, they've got to go.
Oh, Busby's hurt. Busby's hurt, and Carl Harrison immediately signalled for the trainer to come on.
Oh, you can see there that probably the impact of the spine. Let's hope he's okay. Oh, right on the bone at the bottom, on the coccyx there.
He's all right.
That would have been painful, thankfully.
Again, they charge in the defence, Halifax. Dean Busby, look at that. 13 tackles normally, 15 here tonight. Big effort from Busby, big effort from O'Neill as well, who was brought on when it looked like this game was going out of St Helens' grasp, was returned to the field by Sean McRae. Matautia does well, gets the pass away.
Well, pretty dangerous play by a side that really want to close it down.
Looking to run it, O'Loughlin gets the kick in. Not a bad kick too in the circumstances. Umanga allows it to bounce. Goulding's after him like a little terrier, misses him though. Broken play for Umanga to exploit. Good tackle coming in then from Richard Shield. These youngsters doing well tonight for Saints. Now Amon. Another good tackle from one of the new young thing. Scott Barrow, only 16. Harrison, up the middle he goes, Harrison. Spinning and twisting, looking for support, none there. So he plays the ball to Rowley. Rowley gives it to Dean. Dean then flashes it wide to Dio Powell. And Powell tries to deny Matautia.
This is really just desperate defence again. They're trying to keep the ball alive. Rowley's had a great second half.
Powell again. Ball came free and Powell has dropped it. Pressure eases on St Helens again.
Powell trying to keep this ball alive. You can see the strength there. Cross got right in his face. Just on the impact. O'Neill coming in over the top. You would have felt that Dio Powell.
He did.
Well, you've got to credit this St Helens defence. They have just run out of steam, but they're still tackling the desperation stuff.
Dean Busby off on a run. Injured not long ago, but obviously fully recovered now. Great work from the loose forward. This is Sullivan.
Good work by the winger.
Morley. Pearson, the man to bring him down.
Pearson desperately trying to reef the ball away one-on-one.
O'Loughlin. Good tackle by David Bouveng. Arnold, the dummy half, to Bobby Goulding. Goulding looks inside him and finds Shield.
Surely he'll go for it on this occasion.
It's the last tackle now. Goulding is there and maybe thinking about it. No, he hoists the kick instead. It's a good kick too. Umanga's underneath it. He nearly dropped it. In fact, he gave it to Tuilangi. Well, given the benefit of the doubt that he gave it.
Juggling act there. With no control there. Full credit to Tuilangi. Make sure he went back and ensured that any spilt ball could be picked up.
5.5 minutes left for play. Jackson goes down in a thunderous challenge on him by O'Neill. Rowley turns the ball back on the inside to Heighton. Heighton keeps the movement going to Munro. O'Neill again doing the tackling.
They've just got to keep this ball alive, Halifax. They've got to take the gamble now.
Chester. Over the top it goes to Tuilangi. More open space ahead of Tuilangi. Tuilangi collared by Sullivan. Quick play the ball. Rowley. Good work by Goulding, was it? No, it was Busby again. High hanging kick, but too high and too hanging.
Wasted. Well, at least he could try, but it could come off the roof first. A wasted effort, and this will be up the jumper time now. Bobby Goulding will be telling his chargers, don't pass the football. He's got through a lot of work, hasn't he, the prop forward, Julian O'Neill.
Well, he was given a rest, wasn't he, with the game looked to have been won, but Sean McRae was quick to push him back into the fray when things were going badly wrong, and he has shored the defence up again. That's Richard Shield. He plays the ball. It's now Matautia.
He was another masterstroke for the coach Sean McRae to bring back onto the paddock. He's a big centre, Vila Matautia.
Well, his battle last week with Gary Connolly, one of the abiding memories. But Sean didn't look too impressed with that little passage of play. This is O'Loughlin, tackled by Bouveng. Last tackle here for the Saints. Anderson puts the kick in, and Munro made a play for that. But no, it's Halifax head and feed. No, he didn't. Well, did he?
I think Munro tried to get out of the way, and it just hit the back of his right leg. Brave decision by the touch judge and the referee, David Campbell, but it's the right one. Well, will they have enough time? That's a big question now for the Halifax supporters.
Well, if they score a try here, yes, they maybe have, but they've got to take the passes in, and Tuilangi failed to do that. That's probably game, set and match, Saints.
I think that look said it all, didn't it? On the very first tackle, with the seconds ticking away. He tried hard, but the winger couldn't get anywhere near it. And they will rue the day, this Halifax side. They know that it was a dismal first 40 minutes.
Busby again. Well, the lad deserves a try for me. He has had a magnificent match, Dean Busby. They're keeping the movement going. This is one of the youngsters. Cross back on the inside as he was bundled out. Johnny Arnold keeps the movement going.
Did well, did Alan Cross there to keep the ball in the field of play.
Chances here. He got the ball down. Was he over the touchline, Anderson? Did he hit the flag? The referee is convinced he was out of the field of play.
You could see the right foot already on the whitewash before he even made an attempt to get into the corner.
Great defence from Halifax. Less than 2 minutes to go. Less than 2 minutes, and the ball is lost again, but stolen. Matautia and O'Neill in there. A two-man tackle on Dio Powell.
Picking the man up there, 2-on-1.
Oh, they've not found touch. Halifax haven't found touch. Criminal error.
What on earth are they playing at? And that was lost. The impact, the ball carrying arm, that shouldn't have been a penalty. So justice has been done there. But that would not have pleased the Halifax coach, John Pendlebury. Well, a gutsy performance by Saints.
And a gutsy performance second half from Halifax, Steve-O.
My word. They had to improve, and they did just that. And there were times in the second half when it looked as though St. Helens would run out of steam, but full credit to them.
And how vital that Danny Arnold's second try right at the start of this second half now. Looks like it might be the match winner. Goulding knows what to do, will drill the ball all on the ground and finds touch. Good kick from Goulding, and he's rallying the troops for the last minute.
Tremendous effort. Split the defence there, no one at home. Little pat on the back for his forwards. He knows how important they've played tonight. They have worked as a unit, as a team.
Off the field at the end of the game. Please stay off the field
Halifax
at the end of the
with head
game.
and feed, and Pearson just hoofs it down, inviting Munro to have a chase against Arnold. It's Munro against Arnold. Arnold, I think, will win this particular race, and he does. And that will be it now. Less than 10 seconds to go, and the Saints have held on. They've been given a real fight, though, by this Halifax team, who will head off to Canberra in much better spirits than they would have done if it had stayed the same as it was at half-time. And Goulding punches the air with delight, knows that this is a priceless victory in the confidence rebuilding stakes, and Busby has had a truly memorable match here. The loose forward and the captain embrace. A good win for St. Helens, but at the end of the day, Halifax will look back on this match and know they have given the champions a real fright in the second half. So nearly the big fight back, but Danny Arnold's try at the start of this second half proved crucial. Halifax 18, St. Helens 26, and this the moment really when Saints won it. But who's your man of the match? Find out when we return.
Movies on Sky in June.
Look at this place, it's made of money.
Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, Casino.
Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes.
Do you like my nails?
To Wong Fu.
Have you ever beaten a prisoner? No.
Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon, Murder in the First.
Michael Douglas is the American president.
Sylvester Stallone, Antonio Banderas are assassins.
And coming soon.
I'm a sheep pig.
The Adventures of Babe.
Movies from June on Sky.
reason. The chocolate chew.
Starting in tomorrow's 10p Times, there are 21 Fords to be won. Don't miss the Great Ford Giveaway starting tomorrow in the 10p Times.
The forces of nature are unpredictable. To help you be better prepared, Michelin has developed a new tire with a unique asymmetric tread pattern which gives you even better grip on slippery surfaces. New Michelin Energy. Better grip, safer driving.
Slip this up your nose and you'll be surprised how quickly your hay fever symptoms can disappear.
Rhino Last Hay Fever. Ready to control symptoms in 15 minutes. Lasts for hours.
Life didn't get any better than this for the mud teenagers of Bongabon. Until one day, something orange rather than brown entered their lives. See, things are looking up already. Now things are really looking up. Hey, nice wife. Hey, nice drink.
Hey, nice skin.
You could say the mud teenagers' attitudes have changed somewhat. If posing was an Olympic sport, these guys would be gold medalists. Fanta, welcome to the world.
Spank the prank, plank with the green.
I called the police. I really did.
We're trying to play blue here, boys. Thanks a bunch.
Why didn't you meet me 2 hours?
Give a cap reserve, please.
Vauxhall are offering free air conditioning as part of a £1,900 saving on the Vectra and Astra Arctics. And 0% finance. Interested?
Great game, great second half particularly, and Halifax fighting back but not quite getting on top of the Saints. 18 points to 26. Chester, Bouveng and Moana with the tries in the second half and Pearson's goals. But the second of Danny Arnold's tries proving crucial. 26-18, the champions end the bleak month of May and begin June with a win. Now, your view for man of the match. Sullivan, who got 2 tries. Danny Arnold, who got 2 tries, has won it. And Andy Haig, who was brave at full-back, also got some votes. The others, 11%. So, Danny Arnold is your man of the match, and here he is talking now to Alistair.
Danny Arnold has been named man of the match by our viewers. Mini television and a commemorative video for you. Did you feel that this was a game that you simply had to win after the, well, awful events of last week, really?
Well, yeah, all the lads, I think the fans think that they were hard done to, but I don't think they realise actually how the players feel after a beating like that, and it was a beating. There's a lot of us, myself included, that missed a lot of tackles, and that's the way you go when you play a world-class outfit like Wigan.
You're playing some more world-class outfits soon. How are you feeling about the World Club Championship now?
Well, we've got to go into it like we treat every game. We've got to treat it as professional as we can, and hopefully we'll go in there, do our best, and we'll do the bit.
Well, all the best to you.
Thanks very much.
The man of the match competition winner amongst you, the viewers, Paul Thompson of Manchester. You get the mini TV like young Danny, Paul. Congratulations. And Danny Arnold saying there that he hopes that the Saints do the business against the Australasian Super League teams. We hope that all our European Super League teams do the business against those Aussies. We'll tell you a little bit more about that before we go off air tonight. That's our plans for the World Club Championship. But Steve-o, Danny Arnold, the man who won the man of the match vote, probably clinched it because of that try right after half-time.
I think it's probably his best game that he's had all season, and it was a wonderful piece of skill from Bobby Goulding. I thought perhaps it was a mistake on the kick, but when it did turn out, when we watched it on the slow motion replay, I think he actually meant to do this. There you see, he just chips it through and then controls it, takes it round the man. That is superb control. And watch this. On the outside of a shoe, that is sheer skill. OK, not as sensational. Danny Arnold's second try as it was in the first one when he raced away nearly the length of the field. But he did well. He scooped it up, made sure that it didn't knock on. And as it turned out, it was that crucial try early in that second half that made sure that St Helens went on for a fine victory. But I think the most pleasing aspect has to be for both coaches, especially in the second half, was the character from both sides, because I think in the first half Halifax, they were awful. We said that, we mentioned that, but I think Sean McRae will realise now, and perhaps a lot of the Saints fans, that Saints do have a lot of ticker, and they showed it today.
They did. It was a much better second half from Halifax as well, as Steve-O says. So, best of luck to Halifax in Canberra, and of course the Saints against Auckland Friday. Now let's just check all the results this weekend. First of all, the Super League at round 13 from today. It's Halifax 18, Saints 26 as we've seen, and Salford 24, Bradford 40. And it means that Bradford march on at the top, a new Super League record at the start of the season, 13 consecutive wins now. And isn't it getting tight at the bottom between Castleford and Paris Saint-Germain? Oldham and Warrington not out of it either. Division 1 results. Featherstone 10, Dewsbury 29. Huddersfield 56, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. Hull 40, Whitehaven 12. Widnes 19, Keighley 12. And Workington 24, Swinton 12. The top of the table, the Hull Sharks are still there. 5 points ahead of Huddersfield Giants. And Widnes, well, they were off the bottom last week and they keep going in the chase of Hull Kingston Rovers. Now then, the second division results. Batley 38, Doncaster 22, Carlisle 46, Lancashire Lynx 33, Prescott 27, York 32, and Rochdale 74, Barrow 10. Here's Division 2's table. The Hornets out on top by 4 points from Carlisle, Batley, Lancashire Lynx, Kevin Tamati doing a great job at Deepdale. Prescott at the bottom of the table. Well, we've had a fabulous weekend, but what a week we've got coming up for you now. Beginning with the World of Super League, Wednesday at 10. Notice we're over on Sky Sports 3 when we preview this. The World Club Championship. Super League goes global. Brisbane Broncos against London Broncos first up Friday at 1:30. And then in the evening, Saints against Auckland Warriors live at 7 from Knowsley Road. What a match that will be now. The World Club Championship gets underway then. Super League takes a breather and we look forward to taking them on and bashing those Aussies. We'll see you Wednesday for World of Super League. Bye-bye.
This summer, Britain takes on the world.
Alan Shearer and co are ready to go.
In sport, there is no greater honour than to represent your country. Brazil in the tournoi.
There's real talent in there. There's no doubt about that.
This summer, enjoy true world-class football.
Power, direction, goalkeeper, no chance. And Shearer's in there! And Shearer
You okay? Oh. Okay, take a seat.
Yeah, thank you. I just went dizzy.
Right.
I don't know, it went all too...
No, it's okay.
Oh, I just... Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, yeah, I'm all right. Thanks.
As the UK's #1, Lund Poly give more discounts on more holidays than any other travel agent. Lund Poly, a better way to get away.
It was going in and out of the light that really bothered me, but that's all changed now that I've discovered Transitions lenses. Oh, excuse me, here I go again.
Transitions lenses right in any light.
Starting in tomorrow's 10p times, there are 21 Fords to be won. Don't miss the Great Ford Giveaway starting tomorrow in the 10p times.
A bonus for basketball fans here tonight at midnight, the first game in the NBA Finals live from Chicago. Right now, Spanish football.
This is Sky Sports 1.